Good morning, this is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. PsychicTarot.ca, book your tarot reading and unlock your spiritual journey. And the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Good morning and welcome to the show. As you can see, you've got a solo grizzly this morning, mostly due to the fact that Mr. Beaver is out of town. He is enjoying his long weekend with family, which is, pretty cool. Having a club soda and a coffee this morning. The stomach's a little off and my back's a little sore and my head kind of hurts. Allergies. The old sinuses are acting up again, so I took some medication. Hopefully I'll be right as rain as soon as possible. Mentally speaking, we'll see how that works out. So, thank our sponsors, the Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, CanadianPsychic.com, or CA, yes, .ca, I believe, and the Pepper Master, who've been with us from the very beginning. So thank you to our title sponsors for the support you have provided to us since the very, very beginning. We really do appreciate it. And have a sip of coffee here. That's good coffee. Might have to reheat it, though. It's been sitting there for a few minutes while I was getting stuff ready for this morning. So I was in bed by about 9 o'clock last night, so I didn't see the complete destruction of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club last night. I didn't watch the unfortunate downfall. And I say unfortunate because losing 6-1 in a Game 7 at home in front of your own fans is I'm not going to gloat. I'm not going to rub that in. That was just nasty. That's not pretty. And I don't like to see any team lose that badly in the playoffs. Look, I get it. If you're winning, if you're beating your opposition in the playoffs, you need to step on their throat and don't let them up for a second. I get it. Score all the goals you can. I do. I understand that. And that's what you have to do in the playoffs. You cannot show mercy. Fair point, right? But I also don't like to see anybody get beat that badly, and that was... So, as I sip my coffee this morning, I give a big salute to the Leafs fans who didn't burn their sweaters or throw them on the ice or throw beer at the players, for being actual hockey fans and just saying, well, there's always next year. I know you've been saying that for 58 years now, but hey, there is always next year. On to other things. In case you haven't heard, it turns out that Joe Biden has been diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, which is metastasized into his bones. So the individuals online who are both rejoicing in that fact, which is a completely bizarre situation. I don't know why you would rejoice in that, because the man never did you any harm. He actually tried to improve your lives. And the folks who are saying, well, that's turbo cancer because he got vaccinated. Turbo cancer isn't a thing. Prostate cancer and vaccinations do not tie into one another. He is in his 80s. It happens. Of course, there is the speculation that they knew this all along and kept it hidden. Like, to what end? He stepped down. He didn't run for president. He left the race. Maybe he left the race because he knew he was ill. I don't know. But the speculation that he did so because, I don't know, man. Just people are just. And this quote from Ms. Shadika right here is perfect. People are arguing over whether or not he was hiding it. You don't understand how some cancers work. Yeah, sure, he was hiding it. Yeah. Oh my goodness, people. Just the man is ill. Let it ride. Let it lie. Just don't pile on. He's suffering. He has family. He's a father. He has grandchildren. And this is going to not end well for him. Simple as that. Stage 4, and then, I mean, they'll treat it. How much treatment will he undergo? We don't know. He's in his 80s. Maybe he decides that, well, I just don't need to suffer anymore. We don't know. It's an individual choice. And hopefully, whatever choice he makes is the best one for him and his family. And I'll leave it at that. Well, and this comment here from Pete. Maybe he was so busy trying to meet his day-to-day, he put his health, off, like many presidents have. And that's completely understandable. I mean, you can't look at the current president and tell me that man is healthy. You don't. If you tell me that, I'm going to laugh in your face, because he is not healthy. He is not a healthy man. I don't think he's been a healthy man since he was a young man. And even then, mentally, he's never been healthy. Takes one to know one. Where do we go from here? I'm sure you heard about all of the tornadoes that tore through the Midwest and devastated lives and homes, communities. And a great portion of it was people did not get the notification that they normally would get due to the fact that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, made so many cuts to the National Weather Service that they were understaffed and were not able to get the warnings out as early as they normally would. As a result, people didn't know to take shelter because there was a storm just that landed upon them. I don't know what to say anymore. Some days you just sit there and scratch your head and say, what do we do? Like, what do we do? I mean, look, I'm going to show you this clip from, this is just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago this happened, and I'll show you this clip. It's Trump going on about what he's going to do.
These will be the biggest tax cuts in American history, with 100% expensing, which is something that people cannot believe they're getting. We did it in the last one, and we had the most successful economy in my first 4 years that we've ever had, the history of our country. And expensing was one of the things that led to that. But it's 100% expensing for companies investing in America and increasing take-home pay for the typical family by thousands of dollars a year. And to show you how middle income this is, there'll be no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax for the great seniors in Social Security. So you have no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And we have full deduction for interest. If you buy a car that's made in America, you get an interest rate deduction. That's going to be it's got to be made in America. If it's not made in America, we really don't care if you buy it or not. But if it's made in America, we want you to buy it. We make the...
Okay. The commentary that goes with that clip. 2 weeks ago, the president was Trump was still mentioning no tax for Social Security. So this big, beautiful bill that he's been bragging about since about 2 a.m., they left that out. They left it out. They're getting taxed. So at 12:42 a.m., President Trump is still awake, posting his congratulations to House Republicans for advancing the one big, beautiful bill out of committee. Actually, it was at 9:42 p.m., not 12:42 a.m., so I don't know. This is, I'll show you this tweet. This is, of course, from one of his sycophants who, as far as he's concerned, he walks on water. This is from that thumb face Charlie Kirk saying, well, I'll just blow this up so you can see it better. There you go. 12:42 a.m. What is that? What does that say? 9:42 p.m. How's that 12:42 a.m. when it says 9:42 p.m.? They can't even tell a good lie. It's so absurd. It is so absurd. Trying to lie, and the proof is right there to tell you that you're lying. I'm sorry. I apologize for losing composure. How do you keep composure at a time like this when you've got a madman running the United States of America? Yeah, maybe Charlie Kirk's out west. I don't know. The time zone on the stamp is when he tweets it. It's as simple as that. Wherever he is, that's the time zone he's in, and that's the time he tweets it or posts it, I guess, because that's on his Truth Social. It's just absurdity. It's lies. I don't even know what to put on it anymore. So I'm reading here, and I'll move this over so I can see it better for you. Where did it go? Just lost it. There it is. It says, according to this, former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer with a Gleason score of 9. I don't know what a Gleason score is, indicating a severe condition that has metastasized to his bones. This diagnosis was made public on Sunday after Biden experienced urinary symptoms leading to discovery of a prostate nodule. Political figures from both sides of the political spectrum, including Barack Obama and Donald Trump, have expressed their support and prayers for Biden's recovery. Wow. And there are things from all over the world, leaders from all over the world saying, hopefully you're able to recover from this. We know that's not going to be the case. And then, of course, you've got this, I don't even know what to call this man anymore. This is from Matt Walsh, who is just I don't know, what do you want to call him, a tumor? And this is what he has to say. This is the most cynical thing I've ever seen in American politics. It's astounding, truly. Biden has stage 4 cancer. There's no way in hell they just caught it now. They knew it, probably for years, and lied to the American people. And then they waited until 2 days before a book comes out about the cover-up of his mental decline so that they could change the subject and quiet all criticism in the name of compassion for a sick man. The whole thing is so transparent. These people are evil beyond words. And then, of course, if you look at some of the replies on that, you might vomit. And some replies are like, go to hell, and other replies are like, yep. I don't even know what to say. There are days when I sit there and scratch my head and say, how do we continue as a society when we have so many people in it that are just without any sort of human compassion, any sort of reasoning, any sort of critical thinking? How do we continue as a society? I know we will, but it really does. It really does make one wonder. Club soda is good for the tummy. In other news, I don't want to wax too much on that one because it's just a sad story and a sad state on the human condition when people are taking pleasure in the fact that the man is suffering. And look, it's no secret that I cannot stand Donald Trump or Pierre Poilievre. I believe Poilievre may have a substance abuse problem, an addiction, and may need treatment for it. And I hope he gets the treatment that he needs if that is the case. I hate to see human beings suffer. Even Trump. When it comes to him, I'm going to hold my tongue. I'm going to hold my tongue on that one. Yeah, I don't want to be accused of anything, so I'll hold my tongue on that. In other news, the outrage from the right wing in Canada about the fact that there is no budget coming from the government that just took power, like was just elected. Like literally, what, 20 days ago, 21 days ago, they were elected, the 29th of April. It's May 19th. They just selected their cabinet, and they're just getting things underway. And people are losing their minds, going, typical liberals, no budget, they're not going to do. I'm like, oh, really? So let's look at a little chart here that I find very interesting. Number of days for PM to release the first budget. I'm going to share this for you because I think it's important for you to see this. Number of days to release first budget. So Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, 248 days. Kim Campbell, well, she wasn't there very long, so she never released a budget. Jean Chrétien, 110 days. Paul Martin, 102 days. Stephen Harper, 85 days. Justin Trudeau, 139 days. Remember, folks, yes, technically, we normally have a budget around this time. It's a brand new government. They just got elected. People are freaking out that they're not releasing a budget. I'm like, well, this is not a precedent-setting thing. You look at historically how long people were in office before they released a budget, and Brian Mulroney was there for 248 days. He was elected in the autumn. 248 days later, he released his budget. Mark Carney was elected in the spring on the 28th of April this year. There we go. So for him to release a budget right away would be, I don't know, miraculous? I don't know. It's foolish to think that the government that the cabinet was just selected. People are just moving into their new offices. Some people are moving out. Erskin Smith. Sorry, I'm not taking a shot, but if he's moving out of his office, somebody else is going to be moving in. Simple as that. And they're freaking out because they haven't released the budgets. Typical liberals, this is what they're going to do. They're going to trick this and do that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys, settle down. This is not precedent setting. This is not news. It's because it's the springtime when the budget is normally released, but we haven't had a springtime election since. Actually, when was the last time we had a springtime election? I got to look it up. I'm going to type it into the old Googler here. When was the last time there was a spring election in Canada? Spring election in Canada. Let's see. Okay. 39th general election in 2006, January 23rd, 2006, was the last time we had a spring election. And that was January, not April. So that was technically winter. So that wasn't even spring. I'm going back to 97. So April of this year, September of 2021, September 20th was the 44th. Let me move this over so I can see it a little bit better. There we go. So September, let's just go back to the 36th. 45th general election, April 28th, 2025. 44th general election, September 20th, 2021. 43rd, October 21st, 2019. 42nd, October 19th, 2015. 41st, May 2nd, 2011. So that would have been the last spring election. And that was Stephen Harper. And how long did he before he released his budget? I'd have to check that. According to this, it says 85 days. So everybody can just hold their horses and settle down and take a breather. Again, like I said, this is not precedent setting that the prime minister is not releasing a budget. Golden Dome. Trump's Golden Dome missile shield could cost hundreds of billions. Yeah, well, the United States of America is a larger geographic area than the Iron Dome over Israel. The Iron Dome is, a missile defense system they have over Israel, which is a considerably smaller nation, geographically speaking, than the United States of America, because the Golden Dome would also have to cover Alaska. So are they going to cover Canada too? I don't know. Mexico? What's going on here? The Pentagon has submitted a small, medium, and large options to the White House for developing a Golden Dome, President Donald Trump's vision for a cutting-edge missile shield that can protect the U.S. from long-range strikes that will likely cost hundreds of billions of dollars, according to multiple sources familiar with the plans. This kind of sounds like a case of Doug Ford's 401 tunnel. At least that's my take on it anyway. What do you think? Do you think we're ever going to see a 401 tunnel? Because I don't. I honestly don't see that coming. So I'm just checking in my feed here, and there's just a lot of negative stuff coming out about the Leafs right now, and I'm not going to repost it. I'm not going to wallow in that. It's just, it's just sad. It's just sad how their fans have turned on them because they lost. Yeah, hey, look, remember something here, folks. The Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup last year. Leave it at that. I'm reading an interesting story here on how the United States of America needs to start taxing billionaires, but they're not saying tax them at a marginal tax rate of 90%, like in the 1950s and early 60s, and up through until Reagan took office in 1980, and then just went with the trickle down effect, which has never worked. This story that I've read about, and this is not the first time I've read this, and this is probably not the first time you've heard about it, it says just 1 year of a 2% tax on billionaires would cover ending homelessness and hunger, providing tuition-free public college, universal child care, and replacing all of the lead pipes in the U.S. And it wouldn't affect how billionaires live their lives at all. I don't know if that's true. I've read this many times. I don't know if somebody has actually done the numbers on that, but it's probably It's probably true. According to Warren Buffett, he said if the 800 top firms paid their fair share of taxes, the average mom and pop or Joe and Jill wouldn't be paying any taxes, according to this. And of course, they shouldn't have a choice to pay taxes. The IRS should just take it. Well, I mean, I don't know if I can support that entirely, because the problem with that statement is the fact that the IRS does not have the wherewithal or the law firms in their pocket that the billionaires do to fight that. So it's just no. Anyway, Amnesty International has been outlawed in Russia. Group of documents and reports human rights violations across the globe as an undesirable organization, according to the Russian authorities. They have outlawed Amnesty International. If you need another example of how Putin and his Russian minions are fascist dictators, there you go. It says Russia outlaws Amnesty International in latest crackdown on dissent and activists. The Russian authorities on Monday outlawed Amnesty International as an undesirable organization, a label that under a 2015 law makes involvement with such organizations a criminal offense. One more example, and remember, who's Russia's best buddy? Trump. It's just a bizarre time that we're living in, friends. I don't even know what to say about this. It's just a strange, bizarre, insane, crazy time. It truly is. And so you're aware of the measles outbreak in the province of Alberta, I'm sure. Are you aware of the damage that the Danielle Smith UCP government has purportedly made to Alberta Health Services? I'm asking if you know this because it's pretty stark, the damage that is being done. Soaring number of Alberta's measles cases worry health officials in both Canada and the U.S. This is 14 new confirmed cases of measles over the past 24 hours means the number of cases in Alberta has now climbed to a total of 409. A large majority of the cases, 269, are in Alberta's South Health Zone, which includes the community of Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, and Tabor. Tabor is where our buddy Jimmy is from. More than 3/4 of the people diagnosed with the virus are children, and 3 people are in hospital in intensive care. I think it's actually just crazy. It's appalling, said Dr. Lenore Saxinger. I hope I pronounced her name correctly, an infectious disease specialist at the University of Alberta. For context, when many current doctors were in training in the early 2000s, shortly after measles was eliminated as something that circulates in Canada, we would see less than 10 cases a year for many years. And now we're getting essentially close to 10 or more cases a day. Amongst all the provinces, Alberta is second only to Ontario, where there are 1,622 confirmed cases of measles. Another province where healthcare cuts due to budgetary restrictions by the Doug Ford Conservative government is going to kill people. The outbreak of measles in Canada is now also being blamed for a public health alert in the United States in the Seattle area of Washington state. Residents there are being notified of a recent visitor from Canada who had a confirmed case of measles and was contagious when they visited more than a dozen different locations. Well, health officials won't say where in Canada the visitor was from. They have published a list of locations the person visited and are advising anyone who is in the area at the same time to check their vaccination status. We are currently on the verge of losing measles elimination status. I'm going to show you this clip from Global News because it's troubling that we are having this conversation because it was eliminated in the early 2000s. And you have a number of individuals throughout this country who are bereft of critical thought and do not want to believe what their doctors tell them and instead want to believe what they read on a social media site somewhere, that measles isn't that bad and vaccinations will kill you. You chowder heads. Vaccinations save lives. The reason I'm alive is because I was vaccinated. The reason my parents are alive is because they were vaccinated. You don't believe me? Go to a graveyard from the early turn of the 20th century and look at the number of children that died because they weren't vaccinated.
Back into Friday as the measles outbreak continues to make health headlines right across the country. Dr. Gorfinkel joins us, as always, on this Friday. And Dr. Gorfinkel, here we go again. Canada, we were actually talking about this on the show yesterday. We are actually in danger of losing our measles elimination status that we've held for nearly 30 years. Just how concerning is this, and is it too late to turn things around, do you think?
Well, what took them so long? We're 1,440 cases later, and now they're saying, oh, it's the end? I can't understand that. But to put it in perspective, between 2013 and 2023, those 10 years, there were 100 cases. Now there are 1,440 cases. So it really makes you wonder, what are we doing wrong? We started out with 90% vaccines in 7 years old and younger. And now what are we at? 70%, 70. In order to have herd immunity so that it doesn't spread within the community, we need 95% of people vaccinated. So there's kind of a mismatch there, a 25% mismatch. So that measles will continue to spread until it hits that wall of immunity.
That is truly unfortunate. When you see things like this, like the work that has been done, the vaccines are made, then we think we're done with a disease or a virus or whatever, and then this happens, and then it's all, and then we're dealing with it again.
Let's not underplay that. That's 1,440 cases of pure misery, and it's also underdiagnosed. So who are the cases? 3 out of 4 are happening in people under 19, and 9 out of 10, actually it's 95%, who are not vaccinated. We've got a problem here, and that problem is solved by a simple shot in the arm. That's 97% effective if you get two shots.
Yeah, and it's a good point as well. 1,400 are the cases that we know of, right? Likely the number's higher.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, going to ask you about this headline: iron deficiency and anemia. Sorry, I pause on that because that word, when I look at it, when I read it, years ago on television, I sometimes confuse it with enema. It's not that. It's anemia.
Something different.
It's something very different.
Yes.
And that's why, sorry, my mind, it's just like the words and the letters. But what am I saying?
As long as I'm not making that mistake,
anemia.
we're okay.
We're talking exactly.
This is not what I came to the office for.
Exactly. Enema. Ma'am, you have enema. Okay, let's talk. Anemia.
Anemia and iron deficiency, underdiagnosed in women.
It is. 1 out of 3 women have it who are under 50.
Wow.
You know, so think about how common this is. And sometimes a person does not have a low hemoglobin. In other words, you might not have anemia in order to have iron deficiency. And why women under 50? Because we are losing blood every single month. And that blood takes iron to replenish. So the problem is, when we see the symptoms of iron deficiency, they're easily overlooked. Because who isn't tired? Who doesn't have a sleep disturbance or brittle nails? Like, those are the kind of symptoms that iron deficiency gives. Restless legs, irritability, depression. So,
Oh, shit. Maybe I have an iron deficiency. That's entirely possible. I might have an iron deficiency. I don't know. Maybe I should start taking gentle iron. I used to. Then I stopped for some reason because I think I ran out. But that's a pretty good observation. By the way, that particular doctor, I don't know about you, but I actually love her voice. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean that truthfully. I love her voice. She kind of sounds almost like a character from SNL, and no, that's who she is. And I'm not making fun. I like her voice. It's captivating to me. But I digress. I want to share a cartoon that was sent to me from Uncover the News, which, if you haven't seen this yet, I think you'll love it as much as I do. This is, of course, Donald Trump going for therapy, which we know will never, ever happen because he's a beautiful, big, beautiful genius with a big, beautiful brain, according to him. These big benefits from tariffs, are they in the room with us now? So for those of you on the Audible version only, Trump is lying on a couch and the doctor is sitting in a chair asking him that question. These big benefits from tariffs, are they in the room with us now? I mean, that's pretty funny if you ask me. In other news, I'm going to show you this thing and then I'll give you the response to it. This is from Twitter. I don't know who this person is that tweeted this out. This is from, when was this tweeted? I don't even know. It doesn't have a date on it, but I'll show you the thing. I'll read it to you for those of you listening at home on the Audible version only. So Camus is the fella's name. At @newstart_2024 is his Twitter handle, or his X handle, if you want to call it that. Dr. Andrew Wakefield, I would say this. Pardon me. I would say this, that the only honest answer I can give you is, if I were a father today, if I had a child today, I would not vaccinate them. No, I would not. Wakefield questions vaccine necessity, crediting sanitation, nutrition, and reduced diseases like tuberculosis for lower mortality, not vaccines. He argues natural herd immunity from viruses evolving to spare hosts offer stronger lasting protection than vaccines. Natural immunity, he says, passes through breast milk and suits human evolution. Except Andrew Wakefield was stripped of his medical license for fraud. Yeah. So were his researchers. So take of that what you will. And yeah. You know. how do you where do you go from there on that one? This man is a quack, a crackpot, a fool, an idiot, an asshole. Yeah, I said that. I meant it too. For any doctor to tell you this, one who has been stripped of his medical license for fraud, and his researchers, that should be all the news you need to read. Remember, we eradicated measles, folks. We did it through vaccination. We didn't do it through diet. We didn't do it through exercise. We didn't do it through sanitation. We did it through vaccination. You don't want to get vaccinated? That's your choice. It is your choice. But you are putting others at risk, including yourself. And you're putting others at risk who already have underlying health conditions. So I just... where do we go from here? Like, how do we pull our socks up, put our boots on, get out there and do the work that needs to be done when you have ignorant assholes like that who are spreading falsehoods, which will get people killed? What do we do for that? Somebody said, oh, you're dividing people by saying these things. You don't like the truth? You don't like facts? You don't like science? You don't have to. Truth is truth, facts are facts, and science is real. Your diet is not going to prevent you from getting a disease. Will it help you be healthy? Sure. But vaccines you received as a child are the ones that prevent you from getting these diseases. The day will come not too far in the distant future, with the advent of medical AI and the use of CRISPR, where a lot of diseases will be completely eradicated. It's as simple as that. If you don't know what CRISPR is, if you've not heard of it, I'll direct you to an episode of the series on, I'm trying to remember the name of the series. Hang on a second here. I'll pull it up. Just a second here. I gotta switch accounts so I can get the title of the series. My apologies. Come on, move over. There we go. Okay. And what is the name of the series that I was watching recently? That it's with the host, whose name is escaping me right now. Let me just pull up my history here, and I'll find it. It's the end of the where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh my goodness! Oh, there we are. The name of the show is it's Cleo Abrams is the host of the show, Cleo Abram, and the name of the show is Huge If True. Here we go. Yes, there we go. I found it. Took me a second or two. Huge If True, and this particular episode, I'm going to share it with you in the chat so that you can view it at your leisure at some point in time if you want to learn about CRISPR and what it can do for you. She features Dr. Jennifer Dauda. I believe that's how I pronounce her name. She's a Nobel Prize winner. And how human DNA editing has prevented and cured people. CRISPR is CRISPR. And I'll break down what that is for you. Hang on a sec. CRISPR is a family of DNA sequences. CRISPR stands for clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats. Family of DNA sequences found in the genomes of prokaryotic organisms such as bacteria and something else whose name I can't pronounce. Each sequence within an individual prokaryotic CRISPR is derived from a DNA fragment of bacteriophage that had previously infected. Anyway, it's very sciencey. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's not necessarily easy to understand. However, you can fix your DNA. You can fix your DNA with this, and it will bring about the end to multiple diseases. Now, what's it going to cost? How long will it take? What are the pricing involved? I don't know. There was a young woman in the U.S. who had sickle cell anemia, and if you don't know what that is, you can do the research. I'm not going to break it down for you because this is not a science show, and I'm not a scientist, nor am I a doctor. But sickle cell anemia is an incredibly painful, incurable disease until now. There's a young woman with the use of CRISPR, changed her DNA, and she has been cured and is no longer somebody suffering from sickle cell anemia. Pretty amazing when you think about it. I'll give you a link to the Wikipedia article on CRISPR, and you can read that at your leisure. You might want to do some additional research because I don't know. Oftentimes, Wikipedia has mistakes. They usually try and get everything as correct as possible, but I wouldn't rely on that as the sole source of information. You would want to go to a Cedars-Sinai or some sort of medical website that will give you a more detailed explanation. But this one is pretty in-depth. Anyway, with the use of CRISPR, you can alter your DNA and you can cure disease. And it's already been done, and it will continue to happen in the future. Now it's expensive. It's time-consuming. Yes, and Laurie Sue is saying it here. Within approximately 50 years, CRISPR possesses the very distinct ability to actually cure many diseases. Its cost will go down as its efficacy is proven and more widely used. Yes, you are correct, Laurie. And that is exactly what we're looking at in the near future. Yeah, you did hear Lola. She was doing her ear flap in the background. Public Med and the Mayo Clinic. Thank you, Environmental Coffee House. In time, we will be able to cure virtually all diseases. Now, what does this mean for drug companies and researchers? Curing a disease doesn't mean pain ends. Can we alter my DNA so that my spinal cord straightens itself out and I'm actually 6'2"? and my pain in my lower back goes away. I don't know that CRISPR can fix that, especially at my age. But a child, we can cure them of, take your pick. What disease do we have today that is genetically based that we can alter via DNA resequencing and change the future lives of children that were born today? It is going to happen. It is going to happen, I'd say, within my lifetime. Will I ever be a recipient of it? Probably not. Very doubtful. But as the science advances and the research grows and continues to teach us new things, because it is an ongoing situation when it comes to CRISPR, well, we'll see what'll happen. But yeah, check out that video. I put it in the chat. It's Cleo Abrams, huge if true. If you've not subscribed to Cleo Abrams' channel, I strongly recommend you do, because she is a magnificent interviewer. And this interview with Dr. Jennifer Duda it's really, well, I don't want to use the word profound, but I'll say that. Dr. Doudna's Doudna? It's Doudna. I know, right? DNA, right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. You couldn't write it better, right? She has a book called A Crack in Creation, Gene Editing and the Unthinkable Power to Control Evolution. It's available on HarperCollins. I'll put a link to the book if you want to check it out. I'm going to order a copy of it myself, not today because it's not in today's budget, but I will order a copy of it in the future. I'll put it on my Audible wish list if it's been narrated. I don't know if it has or not. I'm just gonna HarperCollins Canada. Come on. Okay, there we go. And yeah, it's available on HarperCollins. It's been on sale since 2018, so it's been out for a few years. And she was the winner of the 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, finalist for the Los Angeles Times Book Prize. Since the atomic bomb has a technology so alarmed its inventors that they warned the world about its use. That is until 2015, when biologist Dr. Jennifer Doudna called for a worldwide moratorium on the use of the gene editing tool CRISPR, a revolutionary new technology that she helped create to make heritable changes in human embryos. The cheapest, simplest, most effective way of manipulating DNA ever known. CRISPR may well give us the cure to HIV, genetic diseases, and some cancers. Yet even the tiniest changes to DNA could have myriad unforeseeable consequences, to say nothing of the ethical and societal repercussions of intentionally mutating embryos to create better humans, in quotes. Writing with fellow researcher Sam Stenberg, Doudna has since won the Nobel Prize for her CRISPR research. Shares this thrilling story of her discovery and describes the enormous responsibility that comes with the power to rewrite the code of life. The future is in our hands as never before, and this book explains the stakes like no other. That's from George Lucas. If you don't know who George Lucas is, where have you been since 1977? And Lola is lying here at my feet and looking at me longingly, wanting to, I'm not going to say the word OUT, because if I do, she'll jump up right away and hop in my lap and want to go. Right, Lola? Lola? If you have an opportunity to go to the library and do some research into CRISPR and do some reading, I suggest you do. And if you want to check out that episode, I did put the link to the chat in there, and I'll post it again just so you do have a copy, or you do have a link to the chat, a link to the YouTube channel from Cleo Abrams. She's a masterful interviewer. I admire and respect her work. She's really good at her job, and I'll you judge her at your own will. She's really good at her job, and this interview was quite something. It's very informative and knowledge filling, and at the same time will make you think, wow, the possibilities are endless, because they are. It's as simple as that. They are endless. Terribly sorry about that. I was just having a little bit of a verklempt moment there. Sometimes happens, as you well know. I am only human after all. According to some people, I'm a monster, but I don't see it that way. People just don't like to hear the truth sometimes, and well, too bad, so sad. I'm many things, but I'm not a liar. I'm about facts and truth and honesty. And if I'm being honest with you, as I always am, I think it's time that I wrap up today's show because my allergies are kicking my butt, and my doggy, who is at my feet here, desperately wants to go outside. So I think I will wrap up for today, as it is. Don't drink carbonated beverages. Yes, thank you, PNC Bio. You're right. You're right. That is correct. It's just my stomach was a little off this morning, so a little bit of a tiny club soda. I didn't even drink the whole thing. I drank a portion of it, but I will stick to my coffee. Oh, thank you, Environmental Coffee House. I appreciate that. Commentary is lovely, and yeah, thank you. You honor me by saying so. I appreciate that. Let's see, there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about just before I left, but I do have a short clip I want to share with you from Brent Terhune. It's a comedy bit. I don't know if I get a copyright strike on this or not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I will share this with you because Brent Terhune is a comedian, and he's very, very, very funny. And this is his take on the Qatar jet provided to Trump.
So people are saying Trump got bribed with the jet, and I saw a bunch of BFNS. He wasn't bribed. I mean, who do you think he is, Clarence Thomas? You're just mad because you didn't get no jet. Well, cry me a river, dump in some raw sewage, and let Brainworm Jr. and his grandkids swim around in it. That's what you can do. It wasn't a bribe. It was a perk of the job. That's all it was. It's like if you're at your job, which I doubt you got, but if you were at your job and your boss is like, hey, if we meet our goals, we'll have a pizza party. And you're like, what kind of pizza? And he's like, Jet's Pizza. Hold the pizza. It was a gift, okay? Nobody was giving Grover Cleveland shit when France gave us the Statue of Liberty. But now old Groper Cleveland gets a free jet. Now everybody's taking classes down at Butthurt University. Get this through your thick skulls. It was a gift for the country. It's all our jet. We're just keeping it at Trump's house, and when he's done being president, which will be never, he's giving it to the Trump library. And who goes to the library less than him? It's rude to turn down a gift. You ever turn down a gift? All hell breaks loose. 1 minute you're turning it down, the next minute it's World War III. Trump's just protecting our country. Sacrifices got to be made. Freedom isn't free.
I don't know if you follow Brent Terhune on the YouTube, but you really should. He's hilarious. He came to my attention during the height of the pandemic when he would come out and call it the coronavirus. I just saw on Fox News where President Trump, and anyway, it was quite funny. If you want to check him out, by all means do so. He is a very funny comedian, and I like his take. And the thing is, well, yes, exactly. He's amusing, but as Laurie Sue says here, but far from the best of many examples currently on social media. Yeah, exactly. He's being sarcastic, and yet they're the people that he's pillaging. I don't know, parodying. You choose the term there. The ultimate irony is it's so close to what actually takes place every day that it's disturbing. Like he has it nailed so good. It's complete and total and utter sarcasm, and yet he is nailing it on the head every single time. Okay, I think it's time I take my leave. My doggy needs out. I need another cup of coffee. I'm gonna have to brew a new pot because this was the end of it right here, and there's literally only a sip left, and it's actually cold right now. But it is still coffee, right? And I do like my coffee in the morning. Okay, folks, thanks for coming out. Do appreciate each and every one of you for joining us here every morning, Monday to Friday. Of course, Mr. Beaver, like I said, he's out of town. He's on vacation. He's enjoying the long weekend, as he should. It's time for family and friends and celebration. It was his beloved's birthday this weekend too. So, you gotta take time for yourself. Take time to make time, or make time to take time. I don't know how that goes, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Between today and tomorrow, I hope to get up a jazz show and an ASMR this evening. I don't know. Usually, it's around 9 o'clock is when I do that show, but I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to do it today at 9 p.m. I might have to just record something and release it at 9 because the way my schedule is working is a little bit off today. Yeah, I know it's a holiday, but I still have things that need to be done. Laundry amongst one of them. Several loads of laundry amongst one of them. Anyway. Until I see you again, my friends, I bid you adieu, and I say take care. Don't worry. Be happy.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, their uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph Something for our opening and closing sequence music.
Just before I go, I want to share something for you. That this was tweeted on the 16th of May, so that was, I guess, Friday, was it? From Pierre Poilievre. And I'm going to show this to you and I'll read it out loud for those listening on the audio-only version. Oh, let me just switch it around so it's easier to see. There we go. Conservatives believe there should be a by-election in Terrebonne. With a margin of 1 vote and numerous errors preventing some votes from counting, voters deserve the chance to have their intentions clearly expressed with a conclusive vote. I'm not going to argue with that statement. You know how I feel about this. Do we have a by-election, or do we count the votes that were rejected because of the mail and the time and the blah, blah? We've had that discussion. My feelings on this are not private. I've been very vocal in public about that. But what I do love is the response from Bruce Fanjoy, the man who took over Pierre Poilievre's riding when Pierre Poilievre was defeated in that riding. The margin in Battle River Crowfoot was over 45,000 votes. Why is a by-election required there? I mean, that's just hilarious. Way to go, Bruce. We do appreciate all that you do for us. I mean it genuinely, and I hope that you can endeavor to do what you promised you would do, is make a difference for your constituents in Parliament. I wish you well, sir. For those of you at home listening on the audio version, we'll be back very soon. And if you want to check it out later today, I will have a live streaming on my YouTube channel, a jazz show that I'm going to produce and release, and then I will put the audio only version of it available as well on my jazz feed. And I will have an ASMR sometime today. I can't quite tell you why. I'll tell you when. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. There it is. That's what I was looking for. We want to remind you that when you want to listen to us, you can find us on the YouTube, of course, and multiple streaming platforms wherever you get your fine podcasts in podcast form. We want to thank our sponsor, The Ray Girl, who is sponsoring and continues to sponsor our pod page. So thank you, Mademoiselle Ray Girl, for continuing to pick up the tab for that, because it's a few bucks. It's about $400 almost, I think. And, it's a chunk of money that I certainly don't have right now. So if you want to scan the QR code, which is on the screen, at the bottom of the screen, that'll take you to our pod page, where both our Audible version only and our YouTube versions are rebroadcast and available to you at any day of the week, 24/7, 365. If you want to donate to us, you can scan the QR code up here in the corner. That takes you to our coffee page, which is, what is our coffee page? ko-fi.com/Eager Beaver. It is now on the bottom of the screen if you want to type that in or scan the QR code, and you can donate to us there. Or if you prefer to bypass the tech bros, you can simply donate directly at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. You can e-transfer money, and it will go directly into the corporate account where we will receive it, and there is no charge to anyone involved, and we get 100% of the funds. And we do appreciate that. So, everybody, thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by on this Monday morning. And I will see you all later today. Take care. Bye. Where's the button? I can't find the button. Oh my goodness.